One of these army lookout posts was positioned at the bottom of the school playground. So on the 4th of May 1972, just about 3 months after Bloody Sunday, I got out of school as normal, and me and my friends were having a race along the bottom of the school pitch, heading towards the school gate to go home. And as we did so, I had to pass this British Army lookout post on my right-hand side. When I was about 10 feet away from it, the British soldier fired a rubber bullet. The rubber bullet hit me here on the bridge of the nose. I lost this eye, and I was permanently blinded in my left eye. So I'm blind now, over 50 years.
So we started this series of workshops with Richard Moore, who came into the school, Mount Temple, and shared his story. A really powerful story. The theme of peace lands very deeply inside everyone. We actually began kind of with more of an external focus. We looked at the military-industrial complex, Irish neutrality, how our position as a nation has changed over the past 30 plus years. And then I guess we kind of pulled back and we thought we really need to hone in on the inner development skills. And we looked at like that sense of building peace and resilience from within. So we explored nonviolent communication, a couple of activities around our core values and how they inform how we act in the world, and had some really great discussions that expanded from those kind of more reflective beginnings.
I really liked all the songs on peace and all that. I think songs are a great way of like teaching people new things and kind of trying to communicate with new people.
I just really enjoyed the atmosphere with everyone, because I felt like all our friends, they could talk about things like that they're going through in life and just their feelings like really openly.
I think it's definitely like a unique experience, because even though we talk about these things, we usually talk about them in like different ways with like other perspectives, rather than like really zoning into like what are the actual problems and like how to have peace, instead of just debating on what side is right.
I'd say I learned a lot of like random facts almost, like the war thing. I had no idea, you know, like the sideshow that had all the different, like the amount of money that goes into war. I just didn't know about any of that.
I enjoyed learning about the guy who got shot by the rubber bullet, and I thought that was very interesting to see his perspective and how he was able to forgive the man who did it.
The idea of like harmony or coexisting and to each their own and having what you need and giving what you can, and a lot of what you do day to day can kind of leave out peace almost. Like you know, you don't wake up and go, you know, I'm zen and I'm ready, which maybe we should. Maybe the focus should be more on peace in the daily life, but I feel like it's not prioritised very much.
Obviously Ireland's not 100% peace. There's obviously our issues, but compared to other countries in the world, the state they're in, Ireland is much better.
When I hear the words inner peace, all I just think about is just me enjoying myself. After school we all go out. That's when I feel like at peace, because I'm with people I know I like and I trust them, and I can just enjoy myself with them.
Well, I feel like inner peace just means like where you're comfortable and where you can be yourself, where you can just not think about what you have to say and just be happy.
I feel the past couple of weeks it's been like inner peace, and now it's like nice to see how nature can give that sort of peace.
Sometimes when I'm at home and I'm on my phone in bed or something and I'm feeling a bit down, and then I go outside, like in my garden, and then it's sunny and you have like plants and everything. It always just makes you feel better and happier, I guess. I wish we had more like outside classes. That would be really nice.
I feel like inner peace is just like feeling comfortable in yourself, and it's a nice feeling. You don't really get daily updates about people's inner peace, so it's just less of like a... When you think about peace, you probably think more about like the wars and stuff than you would kind of in yourself.
I mean, it's hard to believe when you come to a place like this and it's so beautiful and you see everyone getting along, that like across the world it's the complete opposite, and it's hard to believe that people are really destroying this, what makes so many people happy. And it's also hard to believe that the war is actually just happening in general. You kind of think because it's so far away it could never happen here, and it's kind of stigmatized that those certain wars happen like overseas, and it's not like that here, but it has been like that here, and it could very well, you know, the tables be turned. It's definitely hard to believe for the people in Palestine that more people aren't helping, because you think if it was happening here, you'd just be like, why aren't people helping us more, you know?
Yeah, I think that like when you're in a place of peace, like Ireland is obviously quite peaceful compared to other places. It's strange that when you like turn on the radio and you hear about like what's happening in Palestine and stuff, because it feels like it's just completely like two different worlds, like from over there to here.
I've heard like children, like even our age, getting hurt, and then there's no hospital beds for them to even get treated on or anything. And I heard that there was no like anesthesia or anything, so they have to do like surgery while they're awake. They have to do like amputations and everything. And unbelievable to think that people our age is going through that sort of thing.
Palestine has helped out Ireland a lot before in the past. So then having bad things happen to them, we're kind of standing in solidarity. So that's how my dad is, like he feels very strongly about that. Not like I take his opinion just because it's his, but I mean like I agree with it myself. I'm not on too many social medias, so I wouldn't really know, but mainly like through my family I'd get updates on it.
Well, it is an atrocity what's going on, and there's a lot of propaganda, different countries trying to support themselves and trying to keep alliances, but being very immoral, in my opinion, while doing so. So, I mean, obviously you see stuff about it, but I feel like a lot of people just swipe on by it because it doesn't apply in their lives, but it's definitely something that more people should be paying closer attention to.
Yeah, it's horrible, but I don't really know what to do about it. You know, it's hard to know what to do yourself about it. You kind of just see it happening, and
there's a lot of attention being drawn to it, which is great to spread the awareness, although there's a bit of a lack of instructions as to how we can take action and help.
Contributing as much aid as possible to those in need, making the effort to look out for the people in the situation, less than the governments of their countries. As a people, Ireland are very empathetic towards Palestine because it's the same struggle. It's another group of people coming into a country and sectioning off and controlling their own culture and their old history and changing their life and effectively trying to wipe them out, which was the exact same thing with Ireland. There's a movement for peace if there's a movement for empathy.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I guess Ireland is able to send like humanitarian aid and stuff and possibly like facilitate talks.
I'd say mostly the best we can do is definitely just send aid and call for more discussion between two conflicting sides. If we're exporting them, we're encouraging other people to take up arms against each other.
I think we could be doing better. Like, I think there's things we could put in place or attempt to help people. But I also think that there's a lot of debate going on about like housing people and things like that. And that's like a very real issue as well. So,
yeah, I agree.
I have to agree with that too.
As long as there's money in war is going to continue. The more important thing is questioning who's controlling it and why are they, what incentive do they have, because there's always profit behind it. And as long as that's there, it's not going away.
I don't agree with Ireland making weapons because I feel like we've been neutral since we've been a republic, and I feel like it should stay that way because we wouldn't want to like be getting involved in all that, and I feel like our country's not big enough to get involved with that.
I don't agree with that. I think that we should be staying as peacekeepers, and I think it's mad because I'd say a lot of our people and our friends wouldn't even known about that. Neither did I, and it's not really talked about, but yeah, I don't agree with that, and I think we should be staying as peaceful as we can.
When I hear that Ireland's making weapons, I just feel like disappointed because like they've stayed neutral for so long.
They're not really peacekeeping, they're like enabling all the wars, so I don't think it's right.
I didn't know about that at all until people came downstairs there and was like, oh, they were asking us about Ireland making weapons, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't know that was really a thing, like at all. I always thought like we were the neutral country.
When I heard that Ireland was getting involved in the war industry, like, we are a peacekeeping country. That is our job. Like, that is what we have said that we're doing. And that is going against it. And I think it's not fair on the people of Ireland because it shines a bad light on the whole country when people are doing that.
I feel like if we're neutral, we don't have a right to go make weapons for other countries if we don't use it ourselves.
Yeah, I think the majority of people are probably unaware of it, and they probably wouldn't agree with it, knowing the history of Ireland and the neutrality that we like to try keep.
Platforms like TikTok, Instagram and all are just like off the channels on TV, but most of our age group will probably be like TikTok.
But the thing is, you only get it in short bursts, so you're not hearing a lot. So I feel like that's where also it kind of lacks, because they'll see it and they'll just scroll right past it and they won't pay attention to it. But a lot of them actually can be really interesting, and then you can go onto other pages and try to find more about it. But everyone's scrolling through so quick, and not a lot of people actually realise what they're watching.
I see on like people like repost on like Instagram like posts, or I hear like on the news or the radio, sometimes TikTok.
We're not a big country, we don't have that much weaponry, and I do think that's a positive thing. Like, we don't need more wars and more people in harm's way.
It's nice that we're a peaceful country. Like, I like that we are viewed as a peaceful country, and it's nice that we can take people as much as we can, and we are like refugees, you know, in Ukraine and stuff. They can come here, and I'm happy that I'm in Ireland and I'm in the place that brings people and looks after people here. So,
well, I think there's nothing really to gain from war. Like, why not be neutral, really? You're kept out of harm's way, and, you know, everyone's kept safe. There's no one going to arrive with their guns or anything.
Our educational system at times has made students afraid to speak in case they're wrong. And I think one of the strengths of a workshop like the Afri workshop is that students are given a space to think. Students are allowed pause, to not be afraid of silence. I really liked Afri's approach. The way they came into the classroom, they weren't telling them how to think. It was a very soft, kind of easy approach, and I actually wondered at times how would the kids react to it. I thought it went really well, and that was one of the reasons why, because it wasn't pedantic. People weren't coming in telling them this is the way they had to think. It was non-judgmental. A trust kind of built up, and a respect for their views, no matter what their views were. I also really like the two-pronged approach of, we're talking about peace and conflict in general, but we're talking about peace within ourselves, because I think that's so important. It's so important for teenagers who, in this day and age, they don't get much peace because they're constantly on phones. So to give them the gift of a little bit of peace, to give them the gift of a bit of reflection, a bit of mindfulness, to couple that with bringing them out to a peaceful space, a space in nature, I thought that was really clever, and I think they responded really well.
Really what we're exploring is the values of Brigid, particularly her promotion of peace, her opposition to war, and her care for the planet. The story of Brigid giving away her father's precious sword to a poor man looking for food is a central message of Afri for many years. And it's great to explore these values with young people and see that they still resonate, that they still have relevance, and that they're still extremely important, in fact more important than ever. How do we promote peace? How do we oppose war? And how do we ensure that there is greater compassion in our world? I think that's really important, that all these things are connected: inner peace, outer peace, world peace, peace with our planet, peace with the world that we live in. And all of these things must be in place if we want to create the kind of world people want to live in. Too much of our work is done in dark classrooms with young people sitting stiffly behind desks. It's not a natural environment. This is a natural environment which we want to preserve and in which it is our privilege to live. It brings us to a deeper dimension. I hope and I think that a lot of our education is beginning to move in this direction.
To come to a space that has retained some wildness and is also living very much in harmony with the land, like Sonarta is doing, growing organic food, modelling this deep respect for nature. Like, we can feel that when we come here, and the students respond differently. They kind of, it's like they relax into themselves. I experience this, so I relax into myself. I'm much more expansive even in my thinking. Although we've been meeting with them for the past 5 weeks, our relationship with them deepened in this couple of hours today, and it really felt good and meaningful. Nature just offers us that opportunity. It just lends itself to inviting you to go that little bit deeper and to realising that we are interconnected and that there is no separation. We can't live without nature, and without really realising that for there to be peace in the world, that we need to maintain and cultivate our relationship with nature, and to realise that we are nature. Like, nature responds to us, we respond to the natural environments that we expose ourselves to. That has to be a central starting place for this kind of work, our deep appreciation and respect for nature, but for ourselves as well. because you can't have one without the other.
Slowly,